Hey friends, Missionary Tim Turner here, and I wanted to make a video about the publishing process that I have figured out is going to work in East Africa. So many of you know that the missionary work involves a lot of printing, a lot of curriculum development, and developing something that's sustainable, easily reproduced, able to be affordable across multiple countries. Now, I've learned already that the American way of doing that through Amazon self-publishing is not going to work in East Africa. So it led me to, well, how can we get the job done in a, again, reproducible, affordable, empowering, sustainable kind of way? I've got a few teacher trainings coming up across Kenya and Zambia and Uganda, and so I had to print, and I wanted to show you the process that God's led me to. Okay, this is where I started, a basic home printer. Much cheaper than a Duca, which is a shop, a print shop here. But I quickly learned when I needed to print 1,275 pages that this machine would not cut it. So let me show you where that led next. This machine is obviously much larger. You can see it's printing a large job right now, and the initial cost of this machine is within reach, although it is much more expensive than a home printer, and yet it's exceedingly cheaper than constantly going to a Duca. Again, a Duca is a shop, again and again for printing. You see, I have asked this to print 1,275 pages just to train the upcoming teachers. That's 4 teachers across 2 different nations. I needed to print this 1,275. Now you imagine when we're doing a pastor training of 100 pastors and multiply that across not just Tanzania but multiple countries, the printing would be astronomically expensive except for this machine. This machine helps print quickly, double-sided, be able to do a lot of prints at once. And let me show you what happens after it comes out of the printer. Okay, after the printer, obviously we have a printed sheet of paper. And what do we do with this? Well, that's a good question. A binding machine, I don't know if you've used a binding machine before, but you're about to learn how to use one. A binding machine can help us publish materials in an affordable and sustainable and geographically accessible way. So what I do is set the binding machine and punch a hole. Look, you're punching it with me. How about that? Punch some holes. Now, I've got my punched holes. I already did this set, so we're going to pull a whole workbook together. Now, I want a nice top layer. It's a transparent, and a nice bottom layer, which is about black. So I'm going to take these, set them into the binding machine also. And once again, simple binding process. I've got this. Now, if I pull this lever up, oh, let me show you this. You grab a spiral. I've already got one in here. So we're going to pull this up a little bit and then set my front layer on top, my back layer on bottom. Straighten that out a little bit. And then you line this up on the page. I'm going to pause to line it up. Now, once you have it lined up on the spiral, you just close it again. And look at that. We have made together one teacher workbook. It's a Foundations for Teaching the program. This is what I'm leading over the next 12 days or so coming up. Now, this one is 37 pages total, but the first workbook is a total of 171 pages. And so you divide that by 2 to get front and back. And that's what this massive printer is printing for only 15 of those workbooks. I can take some samples to each of the teachers. So you can see how this printing process multiplied out is actually quite affordable and able to be replicated across many different countries, that we essentially make our own affordable printing station in each country. So how about that? Building out processes like this printing setup are so essential to the work. In order to make something sustainable, every single little bitty detail has to be asked the question, what if I wasn't here? What if this was completely funded by internal resources? What if we had to take this to the most remote places? And so this comb binding method, I believe, has answered so many questions about publishing, and I'm excited to give it the first test. Today I'm making this video on Wednesday. I fly to Nairobi on Saturday and then go from Nairobi to Zambia, from Zambia to Uganda. And so I'm excited to put this printing method really to the test. So keep praying for us, especially pray for me, upcoming travels, and for Katie and the girls as they stay back here in Isamila, Mwanza. All right, love you guys.